coming to you live from the corner of his kitchen in beautiful Southern California. We're all gonna be edging it out with your host, everyone's favorite unemployed NEET, Edgee!
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome to Edging It Out. For those of you who might not know me, my name is Edgee. I am a terminally online NEET whose mind got trapped on the internet, and I became a sexy anime girl because all that I think about are sexy anime girls. My guest tonight is the one, the only, the incredible SilvySpark. So why don't we go over and talk to him for a bit, huh? How about that? There we go. Sylvie, what's good? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, I think.
That's good. That's good. Sorry for coughing. I just thought it'd be funny.
That's a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have, you won't hear it here, but my Discord joining call sound for like servers is me sneezing. It's
that's awesome.
It's a sound. Maybe I have it here. Yeah, that's it.
That rules.
It used to be the iPhone alarm sound because I thought it'd be funny to traumatize people. But the sneeze, wow, I did the sneeze idea when I was sick, and then I put it on my soundboard just to rapidly play, just to like catch people, see if people caught on to the fact that they were listening to a sound bite, and I could do this.
Oh my god, I love that. Oh, that is
a little quirky.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, Sylvie, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Yeah,
I really
no
appreciate
problem.
that.
Yeah, no problem.
Always appreciate people taking time to be edging it out live on stream.
Oh, trust me, my chat knows full well how like all about that.
They know a thing or two about edging, I assume.
Well, there's like a running joke within my community that they're a bunch of gooners, and yet I'm not much of a gooner on stream. I surprisingly enough, I'm relatively say so because I don't know, that's just not my thing.
Right.
I respect people who do it, but
right.
I think when I listen to my own voice saying like gooner stuff, I'm like, oh, that's so silly. That's silly. Why are you saying such things? You know you don't mean it. You know?
Oh yeah, I feel that. That. I was actually playing Marvel Rivals this morning, and I had somebody on my team. I had a Magneto on my team called Edging Gooner. Just you love to see it. Just out in the wild like that.
There's all sorts of great names in Marvel Rivals. There's so many. Like you see them all the time. Like a good friend of mine who's kind of a competitive, I guess you could say competitive Marvel Rival players. They play it like consistently. They tell me all the time about the names that they encounter, and I think one of the people in the friend group is like Eyeball Liquor or something.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, I still have yet to play it, but I'm afraid to.
Oh, okay. Well, I hope that if you do play it, that you enjoy it.
We'll see. I will see. I don't know if I want to go back down the Overwatch route again.
Yeah. Oh, I feel that. I used to be an Ovid. What was the word? Avid. Thank you. An avid Overwatch 1 player back in the day.
Same. I would play it all the time with my college roommate, and he'd be like our healer. I'd be Reaper, and I was really good at the Reaper.
He was also my main.
Yeah, I think I had. There was one match where I had a 71 elimination streak.
That's insane.
I was shocked that I had that too. It was on console. I have a picture of it somewhere, and I will find that picture and be proud of it.
Hell yeah. All right, so let's see. Before we begin the show, I do have a question for you. Is that clown yours?
I'm sorry.
There's a clown sitting next to you on the couch. It's like a little...
I hope not. I hope not.
It's like right behind you. And
I'm not looking at it. If I don't see it, it doesn't exist.
I was doing the rounds before the show began around the studio.
I don't see it.
And that wasn't sitting there before.
I don't see it.
Okay,
I don't see it.
If you don't see it, then I also don't see it. Let's just put it that way.
Let's not acknowledge it.
All right, cool. Don't give it power.
Don't. Yeah, it doesn't feel your fear.
Exactly.
You know?
It's like a T-Rex in Jurassic Park. If you don't move, it doesn't.
Don't move. Don't acknowledge it.
Exactly.
You just ignore it. You know.
Yeah.
Like
there you go.
It's like the ghosts when you masturbate. You just ignore them. Okay. You just
Yes. Oh, I'm always saying that.
Yeah.
All right. So Sylvie, dearest Sylvie, thank you so much for being here again. How about we start by how about you tell us about yourself and your lore as a VTuber, if you have any.
My lore as a VTuber is weird.
Okay, let's hear it. I'm excited.
Well, it's two. Well, I'm still kind of like figuring it out because I have two ideas.
Okay.
And they're both varying. They're very different. One is a lot more personal, like I feel more personally connected to it because I feel like it expresses my own thoughts and feelings or experiences. And the other one's a lot more anime like. It's a lot more like this could be a pitch for an anime or it could be a pitch for any type of show. So the first lore is kind of the one I use right now, which is essentially I'm just some guy that lives out in the middle of the Canadian Arctic by himself. And like the idea is stupid. Yeah, like I kind of like the idea for being stupid because I like stupid humor like that, where it's you just kind of accept it. But the actual lore that I want to do, and I've been talking to a few of my friends who are writers and pitching ideas with them, spitballing, where it's kind of like it's a lore that kind of deals with isolationism. The idea of or self-doubt, and also the idea of feeling the need to prove yourself, and you self-impose challenges upon yourself in order to prove that you are what people say you are. You know, like you'll get complimented by people, you get told by people, oh, you're gifted, oh, you're talented, oh, you're this or that. Okay, well, I want to prove it. I'll pose a challenge to myself, you know. And
yeah, that's very valid.
Yeah, and the idea of the lore is essentially he goes out in the middle of the Arctic, cuts himself off from most of society just to find himself in a sense, where it's like finding out who the kind of person he is and he wants to be, because he always feels somewhat like an outsider in a sense when he should be to society and stuff. And so kind of the mask plays into that too, where it's like it's kind of a shield in a sense from that anxiety and that sort of, you know, he presents himself in a way where he doesn't show those struggles, those mental challenges that he goes through. And the mask gives off the impression that, oh, everything's fine, he's all happy and stuff. But when the mask comes off, then it's like, that's when it's that isolationism comes in, that self-doubt kind of fills, you know?
Oh, wow. That's really interesting.
Way more deep than it needs to be, especially considering it started from a dumb idea of living in the Canadian Arctic by myself.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, but
that's pretty good though. I like that.
Yeah, and then the other idea is more of a mixture of like taking inspiration from like all different types of medias, like Men in Black, Bleach, and Rest in Peace Department. That is still being worked on, and I don't want to spoil it too much because I've been told it's a really good idea. So, but it's kind of that secondary idea where I could do it for fun, maybe as an alternative lore idea. But for me, I feel more connected to the first one because I think it reflects upon myself more than it does than the other one does, because the other one's just for fun. You know,
absolutely. Absolutely.
It's like an action kind of lore, not meant to be taken seriously whatsoever. While the other one, I kind of imagine it as a short film, like how I would want to have a lore video done, and I imagine how it would be shot, how it would be, the kind of music that would be used, you know, the emotional tones I'd want to hit. You know, there's a lot more like thought that goes into that first one, whereas the other one is kind of more just like you could just replace me with anyone else and it'd still be kind of it could still exist on its own. You know?
Oh, okay. That's pretty good. That's out of everyone that like I've had on the show, I think that's like the deepest that someone has gone with their lore. So I really have to commend you for it. I mean, not that there's any like bad VTuber lore, you know.
Yeah, it's I come from a film background, so I've done screenplays and script writing, and I'm also an overthinker. So I can't just simply have a simple idea. I have to add stuff on top of that because I question, well, how does this work? How does that work? How does he get food? How does he stay warm? How does he have internet? You know?
Right.
Like you start kind of building this small community that exists up there, but he doesn't live in that community. He travels by snowmobile to and from. He just doesn't really talk to anybody. Too.
Right.
Yeah, and all sorts of metaphors and stuff, because I love using visual storytelling as well, which is why I imagine it as like a short film.
Oh, well, that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Again, no one has mentioned has like, at least that I know, no one has like approached their own lore that way. So I think that's really cool. See, that's why I love like asking that question to people. Because the answers are just like so varied and so interesting.
Yeah, because I think for some people, like, I guess it kind of depends on some people too, because how they approach their VTuber. Because some people they just use as a self-insert, or they just kind of use it to represent themselves. They don't really come up with a character lore, which is totally valid and totally fine. Like to a degree, I do that because I think it's a very unique form of expression to do it like this way. But there's also people who come up with full-on lore stories or character personalities for their VTuber model, and you know when they're off stream, they don't act the way their character does on stream.
Right.
So when it comes to that, it's like there's always going to be a range of how someone approaches their lore, because they're like, oh, this is my self-insert. I want it to reflect me. I want it to reflect how my own perseverance and journey through life. Whereas, you know, somebody who's more playing a character on their stream, they might take inspiration from media that they have consumed that they really enjoy.
Right.
Or they feel inspired by.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because for my own lore, it's like very, very simple. Have you seen the show Freakazoid?
I feel like I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen an episode of it yet.
Oh, it was this one Warner Brothers cartoon from the 90s. It was like a comedy superhero, and he literally got his powers from the internet. Like it was like a 90s computer nerd, and he just ordered like a very expensive like chip. No, not that. He got it for Christmas. His parents got him like a very expensive experimental chip for Christmas, and when he went to upgrade his computer, his cat walked across the keyboard, and while doing that, like accidentally put in like a secret code that nobody knew about, and that's what activated it. And then he pressed enter on the computer, and then he got sucked into the internet, and then he became the comedy superhero Freakazoid. So I'm like, what if that's my lore? I just got sucked into the internet and became a sexy anime girl because I love anime, and that's it.
Yeah, and the great thing about lore, and especially when it comes to VTubing, is that like you can just do it. You don't have to justify it. Like,
exactly.
Who the fuck is going to the lore police? Like, I'm sorry, but your stuff is it's like, okay, bud, okay, fun police is here, you know.
Yeah, for real.
Who cares at the end of the day? Just do what you want to do.
Exactly. That's all that matters. Just as long as you're out here having fun, doing your own thing your way, then that's all that there is to it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think I made when I debuted, I made myself sort of a lore video because I had used a PNG up till that point. And I was like, you know what is the way that I can tell the story of becoming the 3D, the model itself? Because I'm no longer using this PNG. The PNG is now just a mascot for the channel. So I'm like, I don't want to show off too much of what I've been planning, because the way I want to show my lore is like, you know, actually like an animated short film, you know, kind of among those vibes. So I I think it was like a 2-week process. I was like, okay, I'm going to make something really stupid, and just for fun, just purely my kind of humor, where it's like absurd, kind of out of nowhere, kind of sort of out of left field, but like you don't want to think about it too much, because if you think about it too much, then you're going to be left behind, because people are here to vibe. And
True.
I had my friends take part in it and voice certain characters. I think my friend TFM Johnny, he voiced God. And so the lore was that I was summoned by God, essentially, after my original location was nuked.
Yeah.
And Call of Duty style. So you see the tactical nuke incoming kind of.
Oh, that's really funny.
And then, I'm summoned to the white void, kind of like how Squidward does in that episode.
Yes.
So, and Johnny represents God, and I was like, fuck, okay, what am I going to use for God? Because I don't want to just have a voice. I want him to have some sort of interaction in a way.
Right.
So I was like, okay, I'll use stock photo hands, like animate hands that are from stock photos to represent.
Oh, that's awesome.
As him. But there wasn't really like enough stock photos, if that makes sense, where it's like the skin tones are the same, hands are the same, and so on, that I could work with in the time that I had, because I think I only had like a few weeks or 2 weeks to work on it. And that's on top of everything else that's happening.
Right.
So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to set up like a really bad green screen, which it ended up being like a black screen, because I used my blanket, which was just black, and and I'm white as fuck, so it's like, oh, that's perfect contrast. That's perfect to contrast.
That's awesome.
So I set up my phone, I think, to take various pictures of my hands doing various different hand positions.
That's so cool.
And I animated my own hands, and it worked out really well, because you just take the pictures you needed. You don't go back. You don't need to look for stock photos. You just take the pictures. There's nothing stopping you. And the whole reason why the lore ends up becoming God accidentally crushes me, because I wasn't listening to him, because I kept getting distracted by stuff that he had, and he wouldn't explain why he had them. And he gets frustrated that he crushes me with his hand, and then he's like, fuck. He's like, shit. All right, look, we're just don't talk about it with other people, and fuck off. And then he flicks me off screen. And by being flicked off screen, I come into a new form and into the new background. It kind of like it flowed from point A to point B to point C, in sort of a narrative way that it doesn't really. I don't think it would count as lore. I mean, I guess it could, but I think it was more of a representation of the kind of humor that I like to do, and the kind of material I like to make. Just kind of my own thing,
Right.
Mm.
That's seriously so cool. It's on
the YouTube channel if people want to see.
I'm definitely gonna look that up after we're done here. I'm so serious.
Yeah,
because that sounds awesome. I personally have yet to do any kind of debut, just because like I can't like settle on an idea every time that I'm like, okay, I want to do this, and then like I'll start getting everything ready, and then I'll be like, no, wait, but what if I did this, and what if I did that, and then now it's been what, I think like 4 years that I've been a VTuber, and I still haven't like settled on something that I want to do. So I'm like, whatever, I'll just keep streaming, and if it comes to me, then it'll come to me. But right now, like my main goal is just like to just keep doing my thing, and then to see what happens, I guess. But man, that's seriously so cool. I love hearing about like people doing like creative stuff like that. It's seriously so awesome.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about debuts and stuff. Like I've spoken to so many VTubers that I've worked with in the past who they're like the debut has to be this, it has to be that, it has to be if it's not good? It's like, it doesn't really matter how good or bad your debut is. It's just what you do afterwards. That matters.
Exactly.
Like no one's gonna define you by your debut.
I agree. I super agree. Because I've seen it happen like a few too many times, where somebody gets so caught up on just like starting in general that they forget about everything else. Like I have honestly,
and then they just go play Valorant for like 2 weeks and then
exactly. Like it's so sad, but I have like legit lost count of how many VTubers I've seen that like they dump hundreds, if not thousands of dollars into like their model, their debut, their fucking Twitch emotes and all that other stuff.
Emotes, art.
Yeah, art and all that stuff. And then they debut and then they stream for like a month and then they just like never stream again.
Yeah, they go on because I mean, like, this is its own thing where it's like there's like this set like notion or this stereotype that things need to be certain ways. But at the end of the day, we're all content creators. It doesn't really matter how, like, sure, there's certain things that VTuber fans will specifically look for. But if you're a streamer, you're not looking for just VTuber fans. You're just looking for fans. You're just looking for people to watch you.
Exactly.
And I think for a lot of creators as well, they just need to try it out. Like, I tried out streaming on my own. That's why I literally used the PNG that I used was a doodle that my friend made for me along with a few others. And people just really liked it. They thought it was an adorable doodle. And I was like, you know what? I'll use this for now. Because I had a PNG before. But I felt like it wasn't getting the reaction that I wanted. It wasn't getting any sort of response from people. It was just kind of, oh, it's another PNG. And the PNG that I ended up using was actually getting me some traction. It was actually like some people liked it. They thought it was adorable. It kind of gave the chaotic, silly vibes. And
nice.
Once you start streaming, you kind of get into your rhythm. You like, do I actually like this or not? Do I have the time to do you have the time to actually commit to streaming consistently? And that's even without a schedule. You know, there's some people who have strict schedules and they think they're a broadcasting station or something, you know, where it's like, oh, I have to go live at this time, only this time on this day. If I go earlier, then I'm a failure or something like that. But you know, if some people like the idea of streaming and having a VTuber model, and then the work comes in.
Oh, yeah.
And then the work comes in where it's like, oh, I can't just play Valorant and you know, I'm trying to think of other games that other VTubers do. Valorant's the only one that comes to mind.
League?
League of Legends or Valorant. I can't play Valorant and League of Legends for 2 to 3 hours and that's it. No, I actually have to do stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah,
you gotta talk to people, you gotta network, you gotta plan collabs, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta manage your channels, your social media, your posts, your edits.
I mean, I don't manage my posts at all. I just post whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
I guess that comes from my philosophy of like just being genuine, because I think to me that's the ultimate success to any creator.
I agree.
Because people know when you're faking shit. Like, I've seen channels who absolutely do not care for what they're talking about. Like, they will do a video on a topic that they don't care about, and you can tell because they don't put the effort into researching a certain topic. They don't put the effort into expressing their interest in that topic. Like, you know, when you watch a video about it, like, let's say it's a piece of media or something that you know, like, you are a fan of this thing and you're watching this maybe video essay, but the video essay doesn't really go into detail about that thing that you think fans would normally pick up on. And then it's like, do you really like this or not? Like, I don't mean to sound gatekeepy at all. I just mean more in the sense of like, when the signs that someone might not be actually interested in that topic.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like, I actually have an example. Like a few years ago, do you remember? Did you ever watch that one She-Ra reboot on Netflix? She-Ra and the Princess of Power.
I have not. No. Oh wait, yeah. The one with the one. Yeah. The one. Yes, the one where people were upset a 16-year-old didn't have a fat rack.
Oh my god! Don't remind me. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's kind of an example there where people get upset because they didn't know the She-Ra lore.
Yeah.
And like the show picked up on these small little details of like, oh, this isn't She-Ra's lore, but the casual fan who only really consumes it through video compilations or social media posts.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so I saw this one. I watched this one like video essay, like just heavily like criticizing the show, but just like on a very like surface level, like just surface level shit, like from beginning to end. And I think it was like an hour long, and I was like, why the fuck did I like subject myself to this? But then like everybody in the comments was basically like, it sounds to me like you just didn't like the show, and this whole entire time you've been trying to like justify it. You could have just like moved on. You didn't have to like do this.
Yeah, and then and I think there's I think if there's any example that's also really prominent is any Star Wars YouTube channel.
Oh my God, yes, you're
Except
so
for Generation
right.
Tech. Generation Tech is one of the very few good Star Wars YouTube channels because the way he does his videos, like he talks about the philosophical angle of the stories that they tell, like the meaning of war, why a soldier fights, and it's like, man, I love this shit. I love this kind of, like the bigger picture discussions as opposed to
fucking culture war bullshit.
Oh, culture war bullshit. It's like, why is she not? Why does Ahsoka not have a fat rack? She's 14.
Yeah.
You know. Like,
did you watch the show? Do you know the character?
You know, like, yeah. That's what I mean when it comes to like people know.
Yeah.
They will pick up on those small little things, and especially if you're somebody who really knows what you're talking about, and you're really passionate about it. You will find that audience eventually. That it might take a little bit of time, but you'll find that audience. Those people do exist.
Exactly. I absolutely agree with that. Because it's like, why like put so much like energy into doing some shit if you're not feeling it, you know? Because at that point you're kind of like wasting your time and then also wasting other people's time.
Yeah, because you're seeing something that's popular and you're like, oh, I'll do a video on this, or I'll talk or play this game. And I don't know, my philosophy when it comes to it, when I stream a game, it's like, it's something I like, which is why it's kind of a weird, I have a weird collection of an audience where it's not exactly like, it's people will watch my streams because I do a lot of hockey stuff too.
Right.
Because I used to be a player. And my fans don't fucking know hockey, but they'll watch, they'll listen in, they'll enjoy it. They'll enjoy it because they like listening to me talk about something that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
And they pick up on it. They learn eventually. I will convert all my fans to become Winnipeg Jets fans at the end of the day, you know? Like,
nice.
You know, that's the propaganda I want to push.
Hell yeah. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. Yeah! Base. Good shit.
Yeah.
God, if I could, I would high five you.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Let's move on to the next question. All right. So, this is a good one. Why would you say did you become a VTuber?
I think we talked about this in DMs, but for I guess your audience, just for context, I used to be a content creator back in like 2012, 2013. I used to run a YouTube channel. I won't say the name of the YouTube channel because my face would be all over it.
Oh yeah, you don't have to.
But it was moderately successful. It had like 20K subs at its peak.
Oh,
which was, you know, that's still that's really good. Especially
for real.
That's really good. And it was a channel that was reviewing like old Xbox games. Because like at the time, that was when the retro reviewer renaissance was happening. You had all sorts of YouTubers,
I remember
like
that.
Tron, Peanut Butter Gamer, kind of emerge as new creators, kind of taking steps from the angry video game nerd.
Oh yeah.
And they were all kind of doing their own things. They were kind of doing their own retro games, mostly Nintendo related. But I grew up with Xbox, so I was like, you know what, I'll play. I'll do a few videos on Xbox, and I think I did. My most popular video was a review on Saints Row 1 that got at least 100K views at some point, and I was still in high school at the time, and I got an email from someone from Channel Awesome. I think it was Holly Brown. I would want it was Holly Brown, but I don't know if it was her specifically or if it was someone else who reached out. They were offering me a contract to be a contributor for their Blistered Thumbs website. And if you don't know, Channel Awesome's like Nostalgia Critic, Angry Joe.
Oh, that's a name I haven't heard in a while.
like, again, this is like 2012, so a lot of these YouTubers were very popular.
Yeah.
I think the Nostalgia Critic came back to YouTube around that point too, so he was re-emerging in the mainstream spotlight again. Nostalgia Chick, or Lindsay Ellis. Lindsay Ellis. I don't know why I say Lauren. Lindsay Ellis, when she was the Nostalgia Chick. I'm trying to think. Todd in the Shadow. So all those creators were under the Channel Awesome brand.
Right.
And Blistered Thumbs was going to be their alternative. It was going to be their
like gaming division.
Yeah, their gaming sister website for gaming exclusive web content. And they offered me a contributor role to add to their content output. And I kind of I thought like I seriously considered it, but I ended up rejecting the contract because I was still in high school. I was still a kid. I was like 16 at the time, so I was like, I don't feel ready for this. I'm not I appreciate the offer, but I don't feel ready for this. I'm not. I can't eat. I'm just legally able to watch Family Guy. I'm over 14, bro. Like I can't make contract commitments like this. And thankfully,
yeah, that makes sense.
Blistered Thumb, I think, went down like 2 years later, but
that's a bullet.
Yeah, I dodged. Oh, and there was more to that too. But
oh yeah,
after a while, I sort of fell out of content creation because I went to college, and I was like, I want to do this. I can't spare time going in all these different directions, and I have to drop something. And I did what I wanted to do with content creation because I thought I did everything I needed. I felt like I wanted to, and I focused on what my next steps were going to be. And then COVID hit.
Oh,
COVID kind of hit me near the end of my time in college because I was getting my third degree at that time. And so thankfully, I had already picked up a wealth of experience and knowledge and stuff at that point. And I was friends with a lot of people who were starting this thing called VTubing. I think one of the most prominent friends I had back then was Cottontail.
Oh,
yeah, because she used to be, she was and still is in the NSFW voice acting scene.
Yeah, I've heard of her.
So. Yeah, and she was a friend of mine, and she was one of the first VTubers I discovered, and I ended up becoming a moderator for her, and then, other friends of mine became VTubers. They didn't last too long.
Oh, yeah.
Because they went on to do different things. They had IRL lives to live and jobs to work. But Cotton kind of inspired me to venture towards content creation again, because I think, to me, like, content or VTubing is very unique, because it's one of those things where it's like it enables people to do whatever the hell they want.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, it's a very creative outlet.
Yeah, it's like you're not like I see people who are like, who I think mislabel VTubing as a genre, where it's like there's, you have the genre of like first person shooter streamers, you have the genre of, Dark Souls streamers, you have VTube streamers, and it's like, I wouldn't categorize it like that, because that's kind of limiting to like, VTubers have to be segregated into its own thing.
Yeah.
To me, I compare it to webcam streamers, because it's
absolutely
just a way of presenting yourself. It's a way of expressing yourself, and I think that's very unique to VTubing in itself. I said itself way too many times. It's a very unique way to express yourself.
Yeah.
And you're not limited by any sort of like practical things. Like, if you're someone like Germa and you want to do a big thing, you're gonna have to, like, you're paying a camera crew, you're getting a set, you're getting a you're getting all the you're spending a lot of money to put this all together. And then there's VTubing, where it's like right here, we're on a talk show set, we're having a talk show here, and you're able to do it in a way that express yourself. And I think that's real. That kind of inspired me to venture forth into content creation again, because I hadn't tried streaming. I hadn't tried this form of content creation yet. I've done the review portions, but I haven't done this, and I thought it was very interesting and very unique, and I still think it's very interesting and very unique. And I think we're gonna like maybe at the moment we're kind of in a stagnation, but I think there's going to be another boom at some point, and it's when people in the VTube community go beyond what corporate VTubers do.
Yeah, I agree. It's like not even every year, like every few months, like it seems like VTubing becomes like as a means to get started, rather like it gets easier and easier. Like there's so many like resources out there, and then people just come out with more and more stuff, just even like for free that you can make or that you can get.
Yeah, and also like the way people consume content becomes more standardized, or it becomes more accepted.
Yeah.
I think there, and of course there's still the VTube stereotypes and stuff where oh, you need a model, you need this and that, you need to do all these other things. Not really, no. I mean, there are people. Kason streams on a 480p webcam, and he's the top streamer last year. You know, he
Oh,
was
Queso?
Queso. I call him Kason, but Queso. Yeah, Queso. Like Queso, you know, he was the biggest streamer, and he fucking streams on a 480p webcam.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, it doesn't matter like what, like your presentation style. Are you an entertaining person? Are you a person that's putting out something that's interesting? Are you like doing your own thing too? Like Queso doesn't necessarily do like the most unique stuff, but he as an individual is very unique.
Yeah.
And again, it shows at the end of the day, people don't really give a shit if you don't have the most expensive model, if you don't have the most expensive web or camera, if you don't have the most fanciest effects. At the end of the day, all that matters is who you are as an individual, how you present yourself as an individual, how genuine you are, and and how creative you can be, and how much you're willing to pursue that dream of being, you know, a successful streamer and stuff. Because for some people it takes time.
Oh yeah.
Like Shy Lily, Cotton both took at least 2+ years before they broke out.
Right.
Like they were streaming before they broke out and are where they are right now. But like sometimes you got to set up that foundation for yourself first. And I just think VTubing opens the door for people to express themselves in content creation in a way that isn't limited to what you can afford.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's like, I know, like I mentioned earlier that like I never did a debut, but that's like also like another reason why I never like placed much weight on that, because I was like, well, first and foremost, I just want to get out there and stream.
Yeah, exactly. Just put stuff out there.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's I could not agree more with that. Like, and anytime that anybody is like openly asking, it's like, oh, I'm trying to be a VTuber, but I don't know what I should do. I don't know what I should do with my debut. Like, I always tell them, it's like, how about you just like stream and see if you like it.
Yeah, like literally I hop on like it's good to actually have an idea of what you want to stream. Like if you want, like, knowing who your target audience kind of is.
Yeah, you
don't have to like have a specific idea, like, oh, I want this very specific audience, the same vibe as what Joel and Germa have, where they are kind of a self-aware audience, where they kind of they do their own stupid shit at the same time,
yeah,
as I do, and I'm not immune from being subjected to their jokes or anything like that, because I think it's a good dynamic to have, because you're vibing with people, you're there
exactly,
you're there to have a good time. And I think I also kind of include the Hassan audience there to a degree, where it's like, we'll have a good time, we'll have a serious discussion, but we can change from a serious discussion to, you know, memeing the shit out of something within a snap of a finger. So,
yeah, I love watching him.
Yeah, it's the kind of audience vibe that I kind of want to have, where people can, just kind of they know what they're going to be in for, and it's not necessarily dependent on what I do on stream, just more so how I interact with them, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because you don't want to like close yourself off into an environment where it's like, oh, you have to play this game or this genre, because if you don't, you're not going to get any viewers. Because I've seen that happen, and I've seen that take the toll on people, and that's kind of not the thing I want to do.
Yeah, I guess like one of the things with playing like a super popular game is like if you're not already like established as someone that like people think of when they think about that game, then it might be like a little bit extra hard for you to like climb your way, not to the top, but like but like get some recognition, I guess.
It's an adjustment too, because like, you know, you're playing people. There are certain games that people only watch, like Hoyo games. Like there are people who only watch streamers who play Hoyo games, and if you play something else, they're like, why do I even bother? If you're not gambling on your stream, why do I even bother?
Yeah.
You know? So, and like for a streamer who's in that whole hellhole, for them it's like, oh man, this sucks that, you know, I have to deal with this. And, you know, you essentially have to kind of rebuild your audience if you're trying to do something else. Again, it's one of those things where it's like it takes time. It just you don't have to know everything out of the gate right away. You don't have to have the, you know, that new audience tomorrow. You don't need to change everything on a dime. You don't need to do that.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Ideally, you'd be able to, but no one's going to be able to do that. Not even some of the biggest streamers you know can do that.
Yeah.
And it's okay to invest time into that adjustment, because
it's like, yeah, because you're also like, in a way, you're also like investing the time into yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like in changing, even just, I know like it's not exactly the same, but even like when it comes to people who do like VTuber rebrands, that's still like risking losing like a portion of your audience, because it's like you gotta be because it's like you wanna be in a space where you're comfortable with what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's like a bit of a balance there, I would say.
Yeah, I think for a lot of people, like it is a balance. I say always do a slow transition, meaning you're still doing the same thing that people had known you for previously, but you do it less and less over time.
Right.
So I use the term treat your audience like they're autistic. I speak that as an autistic person. Myself.
Yeah, I got you.
And I know myself, where if I'm trying something new, sometimes if it's not something that I can immediately familiarize or associate with something that I already know, I might have a difficulty accepting this change or accepting it.
Right.
But over time, if I'm introduced to it slowly, bit by bit, and I understand it a little bit more about it, then I can make a more educated decision on it, and I would be more open to something like that, or I might be more accepting of it. So you kind of have to treat your audience in that way, so you're spoon feeding them a little bit.
Right.
You're slowly giving them the propaganda that you want to give. Again, it's like socialism. You slowly introduce what socialistic policies are.
Hell
like,
yeah!
Oh, universal healthcare.
Yeah,
that's considered a socialist policy. Benefits for or strong unions and strong workers unions. That's pretty socialist of you.
Yeah.
And then you slowly, it's like you're now a socialist. Like you slowly introduce something to somebody who isn't sure about it, and that you kind of have to treat your audience like that too.
Yeah. So, sometimes.
Might take time, but...
Yeah. Sometimes you want to in that aspect, like introduce those ideas, but like without using the big S word, you know.
Yeah, you don't want to use the big words to
like off the gate, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of like asking to put out on the first date. It's like, okay, but
it's just a big no. You don't do that.
You got me mozzarella sticks for dinner, but I'm not. That doesn't mean we're doing it.
I'm considering it, but not quite yet. I'm not fully there
Give
yet.
It to me tomorrow. one of those things.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
All right, let's see. The next question would be, what have you been streaming lately? Streaming slash playing
Nothing.
lately? Okay. Well, what do you in general?
I've been very busy these last 2 weeks, so
That's
I
so
haven't been
fair.
streaming that much.
That's
Yeah.
so fair, and you're so valid. Okay, let's put it this way. In general, what do you like and prefer to stream?
I like to stream my editing. I think that's, if there was one thing that I tend to come back to a lot, it tends to be editing, because that's a way for me to not only do something I really like to do, and also there are other editors who come into my chat who are like, they kind of see what I do. I've had clip channels literally come into my streams, like watch my streams, how I do things, and then they start doing it on their channels. It's like,
Oh,
you little fucking slut, you know, like. You know, it's like that's kind of one of the things where like I've hesitated to stream my editing sometimes, where it's like,
Yeah.
you fucking little bitch, you know, like you're stealing my shit, you know. But I do like to stream my editing, because I think it's a really good way to, I guess, inspire people, just show them how the process is, and it lets me get my work done as well. But it also is I wouldn't say an icebreaker, but it's one of those things where it's like, I can go like, hey, you guys want to see this? Or, hey, you guys want to talk about this? Or it's a leaping off point, essentially, where it's like a just chatting stream or like an artist stream, and you can discuss other things or bring up other things. And, you know, you always have that fall back to option of just editing. Along with that, I'm trying to think of the other games I tend to stream, because I flip flop a lot. I don't really like to stick to games too much, because some of the games I like to play are games that I don't know if my audience would like. Like recently, I've been playing Ghost Recon a lot, because I really like those kind of immersive. If there's a game that doesn't have lore in it, I will literally mentally put the lore in myself.
Right,
like, mentally, like this game lacks lore, I will put it in myself. And give me a big open world, and let me scratch that itch of, you know, I'm a soldier kind of vibe. And I'll be set in stone. I'll be happy. But it flip flops too from like other athletic games. Like, again, I'm white as fuck. I don't play a lot of. I don't play the most. I don't play a ton of indies.
Right.
So. You know, it's that one meme where it's like the guy asks the girl, it's like, you a gamer? Yeah. And then there's like, oh, and then there's the list of games that they play, and the guy has like fucking Madden, Call of Duty,
Madden, Call of Duty,
Madden, Call of Duty, and like Fortnite, and then the girl has all like Dark Souls. That's me. I'm the guy, but just replace Madden with like any hockey game, and that's me.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, or Fortnite. Replace Fortnite with I don't know, whatever is like where all the insecure boys go to, you know.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Next question. What are some of your plans for the future? Whether that's something near or far into the future that you're able to talk about at the moment.
Well, I mean, I think the easiest thing is having a more consistent streaming schedule, because I think that's my biggest flaw. It's always been like being able to stream consistently week to week, because I work with so many different people and get their content out. I always prioritize other people's content ahead of mine, and that's just because that's my job. So like for me, I edit a lot for people, so I don't prioritize myself a lot, but I'm hoping in the future that I can at least maybe cut out a little time for myself, do stuff for myself, and that might mean, oh, I do a stream for myself, or I do something for me. It's not just an editing stream. I guess, and also in the long term would be more YouTube stuff, because I have been tiptoeing back into doing like video essays again, and I think I did one like a couple months ago now on Kick, because there was discussion about Kick, right? Like, I think Alara did a stream interviewing 2 Kick streamers, and it kind of felt like propaganda for Kick. Because they didn't question anything about Kick. They didn't like subject you know, like, oh, like, you know, Kick is platformed some very controversial people.
Yeah, how come this platform seems like such a cesspool?
like they don't have they have a history of bad moderation. And those questions would often be ignored because they have a VTuber category, so they care about VTubers.
Oh
they gave us
God.
a free PNG of our hat says "Kick" on the hat for VTubers.
I remember
that. The dumbest shit. That was the dumbest shit that people actually believe.
Oh
they
my
made
fucking
they made
God.
a hat asset for us. It's like it's a fucking PNG.
It's a PNG. Why are you getting so excited over a goddamn PNG?
Like it's like you're literally a toddler with keys.
Yeah.
You know.
Boo-boo keys.
Boo-boo key, and then it's like Kick, and then and Twitch has featured VTubers prominently in a lot of its marketing. They have the VTuber Creator Club now. Dan Clancy has a VTuber model.
What? I didn't know that. That's sick.
Yeah, he does. He showed it off at the VTuber Awards. The most
That's so
important
cool.
to show it off at.
That's awesome.
But but because Twitch actually enforces their rules. Oh, suddenly they don't care about VTubers.
Yeah.
But Kick made a PNG asset for people to use.
Great.
Great, fantastic. Hey, why is Andrew Tate on your platform?
Yeah, for fucking real. Like the last 2 times that I checked the Twitch front page, I've seen like at least 2 VTubers on there.
Oh yeah, they feature. They just won't feature the VTubers that they will get in trouble for if they feature them.
Right.
Because VTubers don't know how to fucking moderate themselves sometimes.
Yeah.
Like there are some people who literally stream and the camera's pointed from their crotch.
Yeah.
But when that was all going down, I was a little frustrated because it's like you have a platform here that is extremely toxic.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
and dangerous, and you're trying. And like I think in the stream they were like they were propping up how much money you can make from Kick.
Oh yeah, they always do that shit.
Yeah, it's like you make, and they showed off like I made 300-ish from this one stream alone. And it's like, most of that money is probably coming from like their gambling, right?
Oh, it is 100% coming from that shit. They are fully funded by fucking gambling shit.
Yeah, by stake. And it's like, okay, are you? So you're ethics. So you're just kind of shoving ethics aside here and just like, the money is money talks. And I got frustrated to the point where it's like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking make a short Twitter video essay. That's also on the channel too.
Oh, nice.
That's why it's so short, is because it was made for Twitter, and I don't have Twitter Blue, so I didn't want to make it longer than what I needed to.
Right.
And unfortunately, I didn't go into as much depth as I like to. But the main focus was to deter from the one argument that was being made by Kick supporters who was like, Kick has a category for VTubers. That's great. And it's like, no, that's fucking awful.
Yeah, that sucks.
Because it kills discoverability. Because one of the best things for a VTuber is the ability to mix yourself in with other streamers.
Exactly. Like, it's like you were saying. It's like you were saying, like VTuber shouldn't be like its own category because it's just like a different type of streamer. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still a streamer. They still do the same things. They just present themselves differently.
Exactly. Yeah. Because sorry. Go ahead.
And casual fans or people who don't know what VTubers are mostly just haven't had the chance to encounter a VTuber or even watch a VTuber before. And if they have, they've probably watched one of the bigger VTubers. And honestly, I don't blame them if they got turned off by some of them because a lot of them just do the same shit. And it's like, if you don't like one person who does this one type of content, why are you going to like anyone else? Like, if that's not your cup of tea, then why would you ask for another cup from the same shop, from someone with the exact same shop?
Yeah.
So, and like, and so having like VTubers mixed in with your standard streamer give people the opportunity to have someone completely outside of the VTuber pool of viewers discover you. And being somebody's first VTuber could be really important because you kind of have a sentimental connection to that VTuber or that streamer, because it's like, that was the first person that made me discover them. And they always will remember you. They'll remember you. Like, I remember my first VTuber with God. Also Silvervale, but Cotton's less transphobic. I kid, but like,
we do jokes here. We do jokes.
Yeah,
here.
we're funny here. I'm still waiting for the apology, but you remember that first streamer you've had, so, and that's important. Just having somebody remember you too, like that can go a long way of people being like, wonder what they're up to, or maybe they'll keep watching you. You'll be the first person to desensitize VTubers to them, and they're going to always remember you for that. So having a category, first of all, completely ruins any sort of authentic discovery that you could have.
Yeah, absolutely.
In that regard. Because the only people who are looking at the VTuber category are already VTuber fans. Actually, one of the best ways to tell how shitty the VTuber category is on Kick, go to Kick, look how many people are following category. I'm pretty sure it's at least over 20K. How many people are watching that category?
Oh,
I will tell you, it is probably less than 500.
Oh, that's not great.
Yeah, it's terrible, because it's like, oh wow, there's a lot of people following this category, but no one's fucking watching this category.
Yeah.
Because people only followed it because they were afraid because they were so scared that Kick was going to, or Twitch was going to ban VTubers or something, that they made accounts prematurely in case. So, yeah, and of course, nothing's happened since then. But the second issue is with the category is that it very much favors the top streamers.
Yeah, that's true.
It primarily pushes the highest viewed streamers at the top, meaning that it kind of sets up this, I don't think oligarchy is the right word, this sort of, what's the word? It's where it's like, it's essentially to like enables big streamers to not have to try nearly as much, because they're not going to be pushed down near
preferential treatment.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say preferential treatment. It's just more of a bias towards bigger streamers.
Oh, chat says favoritism?
Favoritism, yeah, favoritism. And like,
thank you, chat.
If you're a big streamer, right? Like, of course you're going to favor a category that you benefit from the most.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a small streamer, you're not going to benefit from a VTuber category. You're going to be pushed all the way down to the bottom, unless the viewer or the person looking at it sets the category to a to a for you style, or lowest to highest.
Right.
Let's be real, no one fucking does that unless they're curious.
No.
Like, they only do that when it's like, what is the least viewed streamer right now, or something like that. Or they actively are going to raid somebody who's small, and you shouldn't rely on raids to grow. Like,
I agree.
Raids are nice, but you can grow without raids too.
I agree.
But
yeah,
that whole thing inspired me to do another video essay, and it got really good reception. I think JoeCat even retweeted it, which is why I had, which is great.
Really cool.
Once JoeCat retweets something that you've done, you're in the right.
Yeah,
I will say that JoeCat is never wrong.
I super agree. Yeah.
The woman lover man does not have a bad take, in my opinion. So
he can't miss. He does not miss.
He can't miss. No, he does not miss. And that kind of made me feel like, I want to do streams like this again, or videos like this more. I want to, because I feel like the YouTube wasteland for VTubers is so barren right now. I'll be real.
Oh yeah.
I've even spoken with like other VTubers and other people who consume VTuber content, and they all say essentially the same thing. They are so not interested in watching YouTube content on VTubers. Like, unless you're like already a fan of this creator, you are not going to watch their YouTube channel, because most of them they just do the same thing. They edit their videos the same way. They essentially follow the same formula. It makes this YouTube scene less interesting, and if you want to go outside of that YouTube scene, you're in the right-wing territory now.
Yeah.
It's like, there's Rev, It's like, god damn it.
God,
it's a shame, too, because it's a shame that he's one of the few people on YouTube, in the VTube category, that actually does something different. And it's
not great.
It's not great that he's the one that's doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm sure there's other VTubers who are out there, but they don't do it nearly as consistently enough. Or, like, they do drama. They cover drama, but they do it so poorly because they just do what Rev does.
Yeah, because they don't want to like piss off anybody, because they want to be like in everybody's like good graces and shit.
Yeah, they want to be in everyone's friend circle. They want to be invited to all the collabs.
Because it's like that's what they want. Exactly, because doing drama, it's like that. You want to be friends with everybody, so you're in on everything that's fucking going on, and that it's like, how are you not exhausted just from thinking about that shit?
Yeah, and it's like like I think you can do good drama content. It's just that people feel the need to do the weekly stuff. Like I have to get another video out this week.
Oh,
it has to be on drama. It's like, well, not necessarily. You don't have to. Like there are some decent drama channels that I think they do their videos as video essays, where they take the time to do the research into something. They actually edit their video in a unique way. They usually focus on much larger, bigger impacting topics. And I think that's something that I want to do, because I would do a whole video essay on on how the YouTube side of VTubing needs to be overhauled. Or stuff like it wouldn't just be on VTubing, it'd be on like all sorts of internet culture stuff, because again, I've been on the internet for over a decade,
right?
So I was around when the rise of YouTube poops happened.
Oh my god, YouTube poop, where they smoke, they pinch back.
Yeah, like real ones know that. You know, they everybody you know, those kind of topics. And like one that I'm currently researching, actually, that I ordered a book because I want to read the book, is on how Elon Musk ruined fandom culture on Twitter. Because I think that's an interesting topic. I think that's an interesting topic to discuss about. It is.
Like, it's just I'm just like, you know, just going at the mention of that motherfucker's name. Yeah, God, I hate him so much.
I bought a book that is done by a former staffer, and it's called Character Limit. It's a very good book. Apparently, it's very well researched.
Oh, I have to look into that.
Yeah, I want to read the book first before I do that video essay, because I want to do my research.
Yeah.
And sometimes doing research actually means reading.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately. And it's not just reading Twitter tweets, which is a thing that everybody fucking does.
Yeah.
Like they just read Twitter tweets. It's like, if you're already following these people, why are you even watching this video? Are you just that lazy that you don't even want to read the tweets? But like, I also want to do a video essay on disinformation in the VTube community, because I think that's a very prominent issue.
I agree.
Like, there's so much disinformation in the VTubing circle.
Yeah, it's really frustrating to see.
Either. It's not all political too. Like there's obviously the political disinformation that's out there too.
Yeah.
Often it disadvantages trans streamers a lot. Often targets trans streamers the most.
Yeah.
Who are subjected to being targets of disinformation that can ruin their careers. So, you know, and it's not just disinformation in the political sense, it's also disinformation in a fandom sense too. Because like I don't like the big corpo agencies, but like I feel like there's also a disproportionate amount of attention that some get over others.
Yeah, I agree.
Where it's and again, that's where disinformation can exist, where it's like how you portray something, how much coverage you give to something, and I think as like the VTube community like needs kind of a wake-up call in terms of how much it needs to do better research on. But that's another topic that I want to discuss as a video essay, because I think I'm very passionate about that kind of stuff, about doing proper research, doing fact checking, background information stuff, because to me that I think is it makes you have a more informed opinion on something.
Yeah.
And it frustrates me to no end when I see discourse of people who don't know or didn't do the research just regurgitate points, because it's much easier to say something that's wrong than it is to correct that thing.
That's true. I fully agree.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad to see. You know what they say, fucking a lie can make its way around the world by the time that the truth starts putting on its shoes.
Yeah, exactly. And it would be a topic that I would love to discuss in a video essay form, and have examples of, and encourage people to not just trust Twitter every single time something happens.
Right.
And also read. Just do your own. Don't just listen to what someone reading the tweets to you is saying, because then they're going to put their opinion on it, and their opinion might be wrong, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Might have to do a little bit of thinking on that one. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. We've actually done like a very, very good job at yapping.
Good.
So for the sake of runtime, we might have to skip a couple of segments. But there is a topic that you wanted to talk about, to cap off the show, and that was.
What was it?
You wanted
I don't remember.
You said you wanted to talk about I think like content?
Oh, video editing.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. Yes.
Yeah, I mean that kind of goes in with the content creation as a whole, because so I might have suggested before, I have 3 degrees.
Yeah.
All of them are in the realm of media creation. One's in post-production, one's in digital cinematography, and another one's in live broadcasting. So I come into VTubing with a very editor-focused mindset, and that comes through in the content that I make too, where there's things where I make certain decisions based off of my education and stuff. And one of the things that I would love to, I would love, I guess, again, this is something that I've already mentioned before, where it's like how I think editing could be better in the VTube community, but at the same time, like I feel like I would want to come from that from a constructive point of view, and not a point of view where it's like I fucking hate this piece of shit, you know.
Yeah.
Like, it's like be constructive, you know. Give an example at least, you
right
know? So, but as an editor, I feel like VTube can kind of open the door to how people view media and just how they can view content. And it's interesting to see how, because VTube has sort of gone through has gone through all the motions of the general content creation field in the last decade, and then in the last 5 years. Like,
right.
It's been going at ~2 speed. Like, we've seen it, you know.
Yeah.
Where it's shit changes like that, and it's like, holy shit, you know. But yeah, as someone who's an editor in who works a lot in the background, you kind of view the content creation scene very differently, because you're involved in the process, but you're not in the spotlight. You're not in the center of attention, if you will.
Right.
Yeah. Man, I feel like I've said most of what I wanted to say on this topic, to be honest, earlier. So that's my bad. I'm sorry for being a yapper.
No, you're good. That's what you know, what I love, honestly. Like that's why I invite people on the show, and I tell them, hey, whatever you want to talk about, just go for it. Whatever you want to say, even if we lose the train of thought, we'll find our way back eventually. It's just It's all about just like hanging out and yapping, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously I don't have the same kind of background that you do, but I'm like a self-taught video editor.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind my asking, what program do you use to edit?
I use DaVinci Resolve Studio.
I've been
nice. Using it since 2016, I want to say, maybe 17.
Oh, I got it like last year, and it's been really interesting. Like switching from my previous program to this one, it was like night and day, and I'm like, oh my god, I am so glad that I made the jump.
Oh yeah, like the thing, I see a lot of people who use like Filmora, they use CapCut, rest in peace.
Did they bring it back recently?
I have no idea. I don't keep up on that.
Yeah, me neither.
But they use CapCut, they use Filmora, they use Premiere Pro. You know, they use all sorts of editing software. And my rule of thumb, and especially this is something that my professor always told me, and I apply it to all sorts of things. It doesn't matter. There's a million ways to skin a rat, but like at the end of the day, you skin the rat.
Yes.
Like you get the job done at the end of the day.
Yes.
It doesn't matter the tools you use. It's if you can get that job done. Congratulations, you're an editor. It doesn't matter the software you use. Maybe some software enables you to do certain things better. Maybe they enable you to do more than just what you can do. But I've always stuck with that philosophy of like, there's a million ways to skin a rat, and he always said rat because people like cats.
Right.
Yeah. So, I've even taught some people in the behind the scenes like how to edit. Where it's like, they come to me because I also am a certified instructor with Blackmagic.
Oh, nice.
Blackmagic Designer is the company that makes DaVinci Resolve,
right?
And I'm certified with them, so
that's really cool.
Actually can certify, teach it, and stuff, which is kind of why I feel comfortable talking about Resolve on stream more. But yeah, people come to me. They'll ask me, how do you edit this? How do you what do you do? It looks so overwhelming. But for a lot of people, I always say it's just all you need to do is learn where the things are and what you want out of it. Because VTubing, you're not doing a shit ton.
Right.
You're not like rotoscoping shit. You're not like doing graphic 3D animations. No, I mean you can if you want. If you want to go that extra mile, but you don't have to. Just learn what you need to do before you do the wants.
Yeah, and then from then on, you can if you want to, you can. Learn more stuff.
I always view it as like a Lego set. Like you're building Legos.
Oh my god, yes, that's like the perfect way to put it.
Yeah, you're building Legos in your editing software, but the instructions are in your head. You come up with what you want, and you build over time.
Yeah.
That to me is the important thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. To me, I think like the best thing that I love about DaVinci Resolve is like how it lets you do subtitles like easier, because like
yeah,
because now like oh sorry, go ahead.
What software did you use originally?
I used to use Vegas Pro.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know, so am I.
I mean, okay, Vegas has its uses. Vegas is probably one of the best editing softwares out there for YouTube poops, because it has all those like effects that you will need for a YouTube poop. Like one of my favorite editors, Frozen Cereal, he uses Vegas, and his stuff, I love his shit so much. It's so chaotic. But yeah, for certain things, some editing software is just more modern, and it does things, it simplifies it.
Yeah, when subtitles became the norm on VTuber, not videos, but what was it, like TikToks, like vertical shit, I used to fucking hate doing that on Vegas Pro, but like as soon as I switched to DaVinci, it's like, oh, I gotta do subtitles, oh, it's all good, no problem. It just makes the whole process so much easier. It doesn't make me want to jump off a damn bridge every time that I try to, get all that set up and with the timing and all that other shit.
Yeah, and you learn as you edit. You become a more effective editor over time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like you're leveling up, and then like when you see your progress, like compared to like a few months, like when you first started, and then like where you're at now, it's like it feels nice. It feels good. So I'm really looking forward to learning like more stuff, more of the ins and outs of what's it called, of DaVinci
Resolve. There's all sorts of tutorials too. There's all sorts of tutorials, and they go to TwitchCon all the time. They go to TwitchCon all the time, and they let you just work with stuff. They'll even have like full sets that you can edit with, and even just show off their new tech, because because that's the great thing about Resolve, is that they don't have a subscription service.
I know, that's why I love it so much. Just when I'm done.
Company. They're a hardware company. They make hardware. They make cameras. They make hard drives. They make server units. They make transmitters. They make all sorts of hardware that's really good. But they use Resolve as a way to pitch people on those that hardware too, because they make it they integrate all the codecs and all of the tech from their hardware into Resolve. So
that's really cool.
If you're shooting on, say, a Blackmagic design camera, you can set the Oh god, I'm blanking on the words now. You can set the color space to that specific camera model, and you see what the camera was seeing. You get the shot of what the camera was shooting at, and you don't just get it raw. It does that with other cameras too, but there's a predominantly more represented amount of Blackmagic design stuff there, obviously.
Right.
But I don't know. It's just really cool. It's cool software to use.
Yeah,
and I highly recommend using it for people. Take the time to learn it. That's what I say.
Yeah, it's so worth it. It is seriously so worth it. When I saw it, when I was like on their website before I got it, and they said those like that you just have to pay once, and then like the rest of the updates you'll just like get them for free. I was like, no way, this cannot be this. There has to be a catch, but no, there wasn't any, and I was really happy with that because I wanted to move on from Vegas Pro for the longest fucking time, but like my problem was always funds to do it, and I considered getting a subscription just for Premiere Pro, and I saw how much that shit cost per month, and I was like, oh
yeah, Premiere Pro, they primarily get their stuff from subscriptions, so you have to look at the business model of the companies that you're working with, because Adobe doesn't have shit in technology, or in hardware, so it's all the subscription. It's all the subscription fees that they get.
Yeah. So I'm.
It's always morally okay to pirate Adobe.
Yes, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, fuck Adobe. Yeah, that was like another reason too why I was like, no, absolutely not. One, the subscription thing, and then two, the just how terrible they are with their subscription shit. It sucks. I've heard so many like horror stories about like people just trying to like unsubscribe, and then they get hit with additional fees just from trying to fucking unsubscribe. It's like, oh my god, it's ridiculous. Yeah, so it's like when I'm sure that you've seen that like that meme of Mercy like just descending down with like her hand extended to like save the kid. That's what it felt when I discovered fucking DaVinci Resolve. Oh my god, take me away finally.
Yeah, and again, it has also like programs within it too. That is essentially like the Adobe Cloud suite.
Yeah, that was really cool. I like that, and I'm really looking forward to learning more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's already like a few like plugins that I keep forgetting that I need to download that are just gonna make editing so much easier, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really looking forward to getting more proficient at it as I go through all my like video backlogs that I still need to edit.
Oh yeah, I mean, trust me, there's all sorts. You're gonna have a backlog.
Yeah. When does that not ever happen? Let's be real for a minute.
Yeah. It's just you're always gonna have it.
Yeah, but hey, it's all about getting used to it, becoming proficient at it, and whatnot. So I feel like I'm getting there, at least with DaVinci. I kind of know most of the ins and outs of Vegas Pro since I was using it up until like literally like last year. I think up until like summer of last year was when or was it fall? Well, either way, good riddance. I'm glad that I'm not using that shit anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. What time is it? Okay, Sylvie, I think we might have a show here. What do you think?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, we've been going at it for a while now.
Yeah, we had some. Oh man, that was a really good yap session. Is there anything else that you wanna talk about to cap it off, or anything that you wanna promote or shout out?
I mean, you can check out all my socials, my Blue Sky, my Twitter, my Twitch. I hope to get back on the Twitch soon.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah. If you want more of my opinions, probably Blue Sky and Twitter, because I tend to post my opinions there first and foremost.
Hell
because I have no restraint. But yeah, by all means, I don't have anything too specific to promote. I don't have too much big stuff planned, but yeah, my socials are all there, and it's been a lovely time talking with you.
Yeah, and then I don't remember if I told you, but I put these VODs up on YouTube the following Friday. Yeah. So when this goes up on YouTube, we'll be sure to add each and every single one of your links in the video description.
Hell yeah.
So people who missed the show live or maybe came in halfway through can, you know, enjoy it at their own pace and then check out your links, hopefully. All right. Well,
yeah,
thank you genuinely so much for you know, for spending some time here tonight. I appreciate that a lot. And like I am so serious when I say that I had a great time talking to you.
Yeah, it's been fun to be here and just to talk about stuff and kind of just sit back and just kind of vibe for a bit, you know.
Yeah, that's one of the things that that's one of the things that I love so much about doing this show. Just sit back and yap for a little while, you know. Yeah, very soothing, I might say.
I agree.
All right, cool. So that's gonna be it for us tonight. Let me give you a quick shout out in chat. I put your in the video title, but let me make sure. SilvySpark. There we go. So that people that are live right now can see that too. All right, there we go. So that's gonna be it for us tonight. Thank you everybody so much for coming to hang out. Sylvie, again, I know I sound like a broken record, but I truly am grateful for you being here tonight.
I feel great to be here.
Oh. All right, everybody, take care of please take care of yourselves and each other. Drink some water, and I will see you next time. Have a good one. Bye.